Hi everyone. So I got really inspired after this morning's meditation class. I had a beautiful class, all women today. Lot of divine feminine energy in the room, and really interesting kind of, I guess, validation of some of the things that I have been considering and thinking about bringing to my meditation class. We're just wrapping up a chakral series that we kicked off 2023 with. And as we take that to a close, I always ask class what they're interested in, because this isn't just about me teaching what I want to teach. This is about my students and what they need from the guided meditation experience. And there really seems to be kind of two buckets of thinking right now, which as of today really became very evident. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I had pitched possibly doing some shadow work. And for those of you who aren't familiar with shadow work, that's, depending upon whose philosophy that you follow and everything, it's about bringing the subconscious to the conscious and really unearthing the parts of ourselves that we've rejected or repressed, or plain have forgotten about, or just are ashamed of. We don't want those parts of ourselves to see the light of day. And integrating that part of ourselves into who we are and learning how to control the energy, using it when it serves you, not using it when it doesn't serve you, being able to discern and make judgment calls on when it is and isn't appropriate, and really just coming down to having full control over your own personal power, right? Being able to call in what you need to call in when you need to call it in, so that you can exchange energy with the world and move in the world and through the world in a way that supports you and honors your highest good, as you are living a 3D life, but trying to expand your awareness and your consciousness into the 5D, right? Because we're spiritual beings here having a human existence. So as much as some of us, those of us who are on the more spiritual track, oftentimes want to sit in the 5D as much as we can, it's just not feasible because we live in a 3D world. And where's that balance, right? So the point I'm trying to make is that there's kind of two buckets of students that I have right now. And the first bucket is a student that's really coming to me less for maybe a spiritual connection, or at least not right now, and more just for stress recovery. They are having strained relationships at work, or maybe strained relationships at home, going through major changes. Maybe they've lost a loved one, and they're looking for tools, techniques, and just the time to turn everything off, shut it down, and carve some time out for themselves as a way of getting away from the stress, right? But the goal of guided meditation is really not just for you to get away from it, but for you to actually learn how you can come in and out of stress, because not all stress is bad, some stress is good, and control your response to it. Regulate your body, regulate your mind, regulate your words that you're using, right? That's an important one. And shorten your stress recovery window the better and better you get at it over time. And then I have a second bucket of students who are super spiritual. And they may have been on that path for a long time, or they may just be awakening to that path. And what's interesting when I bring up the shadow work is the first bucket of students gets kind of scared and freaked out about what that is. I don't want to unearth that part of me. I don't want to know that part of me. I don't like that part of me. And then there's the spiritual group who's super into it, right? And there's no right or wrong here, by the way. There's no judgment. I'm not making any assumptions about anyone. Everyone is on their own unique ride and journey in this life. So please don't think that I'm passing any judgment on anyone. But what's interesting to me is that the spiritual group understands that unearthing that part of you, integrating that part of you, even though it's painful, it can be painful, kind of like going through growth spurts again, right? Having growing pains when you were a kid. It's kind of what it feels like. That is all worth it. It's all worth it in the end, because if we're not growing, we're not evolving, and we're not increasing our consciousness and starting to see what's really going on in the world around us instead of shoving our head into the sand, right? It's painful work. We have to navigate through a lot of stuff. And there are old traumas that are going to come back to haunt you. But they're there to serve a purpose. They're there to enlighten you and to bring you in alignment with your purpose. And embracing the lessons that you've gained out of all of that is really the key to growth and evolution in this lifetime. So, I don't know, I just felt inspired to start videoing. Maybe I'll do this as some lives moving forward. I'm not really sure. I'm going to keep this all super freeform. If you guys want to comment or DM me with anything that you'd like to hear me talk about, or you want to communicate about live, let me know. I mean, this is called the 5D Collective for a reason. I'm not here to be your guru. I'm here for our collective to have a voice and a safe space to ask questions, to explore themselves, and to seek the answers that you're looking for, right? So I'm going to pull a card today, a tarot card. This is the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell and artwork by Danielle Noel. The artwork on here is really incredible. I'll just show you one of the cards. Interesting that I pulled that one. So here's one side of the cards, and then here's one of the cards called the Blue Flame. I just feel like let's confirm if we need to do some shadow work, or if we don't, or if we need to do something else. But it seems to be coming to light over and over and over again in my classes, and students are requesting it more and more. And so I invite you, if you're in the Denver area, certainly come join me. I teach at Sarasota Littleton on Sunday nights at 6:30. And I teach at Sarasota Greenwood Village on Thursday nights at 6. So what an interesting card to pull. Karmic relationships. Constellation Orion, and by the way, I'm reading out of the Starseed Oracle book because I thought what this card had to say in this book was pretty profound, especially what we were talking about this morning. So the constellation Orion is thought by many to have been a place of great polarity and eventual unity. Some believe that many starseeds who were part of this cosmic history are incarnate on Earth now and are playing out karmic relationships from Orion's times, and perhaps you're one of them. Polarity causes conflict and highlights separation. However, because of this conflict, can also result in unity and growth. Too many misunderstandings are caused when we don't open our heart and mind and see things from a different point of view. When we go into reactive second-guessing mode instead of gathering the courage to open our heart. We should admit that we may have reacted because of our own woundings and then find mutual ground. We are all innocent children looking to be seen, understood, and cherished. It's much harder to grow closer through conflict than it is to grow further apart. And yet that's the invitation of conflict. It's easy to react and take things personally. It's more challenging to see the innocence of all involved and find a way to grow closer through the conflict. It's through relationships that we grow the most. How can you soften your heart and drop your defenses enough to see things from a different point of view? How can you see the innocence of all involved? And how can you learn to see the similarities rather than the differences? And here's a little Starseed Soul Inquiry section where she asks, which relationships do you find the most challenging? How can you see things from a different perspective? How are you being called to allow growth through conflict? So I think that seals it, folks. Some shadow work it is. So feel free to join me. I will probably, just because this is coming in so strongly, down the road, turn this into an online course, online workshop. In the meantime, feel free to log on to the website, the5dcollective.com/courses. You can check out courses that I already have up. I've got an 8 weeks to stress recovery up, and I am finishing up some things on the chakra alignment masterclass. It's going to take some time for me to get that loaded to the online course platform, but once it does, that will post as well as being available. And again, if you have any questions, you want to explore anything, you want to pursue anything, you want to talk about some of the other things that I do outside of guided meditation and breath work, feel free to drop me a line on the website and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And in the meantime, have a blessed day. I hope that you're able to find some joy in the day today and carry that with you throughout your weekend and into next week. And I will, I think, be calling this, these sessions together, Tea with Me. So I hope to see you at the next Tea with Me. Maybe we'll do it every Friday afternoon. And we'll just see what happens next Friday, okay? Until then, namaste.